All right, there we are. I think I was on mute there. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dalawit Masfen. I am Director of Communications here at American University of Iraq Suleimani. This week, we are going to be talking about LinkedIn. Now, this academic success workshop is organized by the Student Services Department at AUIS. So I'd like to thank Mr. Lawan Sirwan, Student Services Coordinator, and Dr. Baron Kayaolu, who is our Student Services Director / Dean of Students here at the university. And without further ado, we are going to get into the success workshop. I'm going to be doing a presentation and we have time allotted for a question and answer session here in the workshop. All you have to do is use the chat function in our YouTube link here to ask your questions, make suggestions if you have any. And so with that, we'll be getting started in just a minute. All right. Let's see. Why you need a LinkedIn account? This is a question that I have received and both answered with plenty of students as well as alumni here at the university. Many times people think LinkedIn is just another social media platform, and that is true to a certain extent, but it is definitely not the kind of platform that you have in mind when you think about Facebook or Instagram or other things. And so with this presentation, we're really going to get into why it is that you need a LinkedIn account, what the benefits of it are, and how exactly you can really harness the power of having a LinkedIn account in order to further your career. So what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network. And that's not only online, that's actually offline as well in the real world. With 740 million members worldwide, you really understand why it is billed as the largest professional network. And with that, really the focus is on careers, professions, and professional life, work life. And that includes jobs, internships, networking, skills development, and actually a lot more. This is something that you could consider to be the grown-ups social media platform. So are all platforms equal? For me, the obvious answer is no. It definitely not. You have sort of the big ones such as Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram, all of which were the top 5 used social media platforms in January of this year, 2021. And that is according to Statista. Now, these numbers at the end of the bars that you can see are the number of active users who were on those platforms in January. So for Facebook, we're looking at 2.74 billion active users during that month. And for YouTube, 2.29 billion, WhatsApp, 2 billion. And then you see a drop, quite significant drop, that the next most popular social media platform is actually Facebook Messenger, with 1.3 billion users, Instagram, 1.2 billion users approximately, and not far behind is LinkedIn with those 740 million active users. So what you see here really is that while these are the most used social media platforms, there are a number of others that follow behind. And WhatsApp is definitely up there in terms of the number of users it has worldwide. But even in looking at these top 5 that we have here, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, you might put into one category, whereas WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger aren't really the kinds of social media platforms that we would think of, like, Facebook with friends and photo sharing and link sharing and things like that, but they do function in those ways. So where does LinkedIn stand among all of these platforms? And why does it matter? So LinkedIn primarily has a purpose that is a bit different from the other platforms that we've looked at so far. You've got networking, job searches, recruitment, professional and interest groups as kind of the primary functions of LinkedIn, which could be applied in the other platforms as well, but they aren't the main focus of it. That's the difference with LinkedIn, is that you're really going in there looking at how you're going to be furthering your career, whether it's academic or professional. With LinkedIn, you can also stay up to date on your friends, peers, and coworkers, just like you would on other traditional social media platforms. But in this regard, it's going to be probably more, again, work or academic focused. And again, LinkedIn also has a messaging service as part of its platform, similar to the other social media platforms. But here, you really want to use the LinkedIn messaging in a different way. It's a way that you can actually make meaningful connections with people who you may know professionally or here at the university or other friends that you have, but it's also a way for you to meet other people who you are interested in, let's say, working at their organizations, or people who are in a profession or in a position that you are interested in having. So using messages in order to connect with people and make meaningful connections is super important when you're engaging on LinkedIn. So for LinkedIn, you really want to set yourself apart from those 740 million other users who are going to be on the platform. And setting yourself apart comes with big gains. What are those big gains? In addition to, your friends, your family, your coworkers, your classmates, there's another demographic that operates on LinkedIn that could be crucial to your own advancement, and they are recruiters. These recruiters are from different organizations, and they work on behalf of companies and employers in general who are looking to hire talent for their companies, organizations, projects, and so on. So making sure that you understand how to use your LinkedIn profile in the most effective way is super important, so that you know how to appear in the searches or appear on the radar of those recruiters who are looking to fill positions at different companies and organizations that would be of interest to you. And so we're going to go through the different ways that we can do that. And just to give you a heads up, the way that setting yourself apart really can pay off is that right here at the university, we have had students and alumni who have been recruited to companies like Facebook, like Google, and other large organizations, who were recruited directly through LinkedIn. Basically, a recruiter saw their profile, saw that it was filled out correctly, and had the different skills, the different experiences, positions that really made them appear to be a good candidate for a job that was open. Now, recruiters, again, they operate in the tech industry, they operate in in healthcare, in a lot of different industries across the board, but making sure that you are there, you are present, you are a part of the platform really can help you to, one, set yourself apart from others by making sure that you really outline what information is relevant about you and what you're looking for. And then having them really be able to have access to you so that you can have the opportunity to perhaps find the next step for yourself when it comes to your academic or professional life. So how to get started. Many of you may already have your own LinkedIn profile. You might have a fantastic one already. You might have one, but be unsure about what direction you should be going in. And some of you may not have a LinkedIn profile at all. And so you're interested in finding out, why is it really worth it? Why do people have a LinkedIn account? And how can you get started? So that's what we'll get into right now. Step one is to create a profile. So in making a profile, you want to really be sure to fill it out fully. There are a lot of different pieces of a LinkedIn profile, and we're going to look at a really fantastic one so that you can see a great example of what a LinkedIn profile can and should look like. So first step is the introduction. You want to make sure that you have your name, your headline, your current position, even if you are a student, for example, your education, where you're located is also really important, your industry, contact information, and a brief summary about yourself. Making sure to use your full name is really important. One thing that you'll see is that typically people may use other social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or others with, let's say, the old school way of using screen names rather than your full name. This is a platform where you're really going to be you're going to want to be yourself, you as a person who is looking to join an organization or to further your professional career. This is not, a situation where you're using a different persona. You really want to go forward with your full legal name or whatever name that you use, but it should be your real name. We'll go into what the different parts are. Headline, summary. This might seem a little bit confusing right now, but you'll understand what those different pieces are. Your current position. So you might have an internship. You might have a position on campus through the service learning program. You might want to just say that you're a student here at AUIS, and so you can put that in for your education part so that it's clear that you're a student and that you're looking for a position maybe further down the line. And then come the extras, which really help to make a full and rich profile. And so those are recommendations. If you have friends who you've worked with, classmates that you've worked on group projects with, if you have had a position or an internship, you'll want to ask supervisors or your peers to write recommendations for you so that people can get an idea of what you're like in a work setting. And then certifications that you may have, any relevant courses towards your major that you've done are also really valuable to add to your profile. Any honors or awards that you've received. Every year we have our AUIS awards. If you've received any, that's a great spot to add that information. Majority of you, if not all of you, here at AUIS are at least bilingual, if not trilingual, or just polyglots in general. Definitely add those languages under the language area, because that again opens you up to more positions that you would be qualified for. Any organizations that you're a part of, whether it's the Students of students of petroleum engineering or any other student or professional organizations that you're a part of. This is a great place to put that, just to show that you are an active member of your community. Patents may sound like a strange thing to add now, but I do know that we do have students who do have patents or who are seeking patents. And so again, you really want to be able to show all the different parts of you as a person and as a future professional or a current professional. Any publications that you've had, any essays that you've written that you may have submitted for consideration in different things, research that you have done, any projects, specific skills, your scores or GPAs. If you have a score or GPA that is, let's say, above average, you definitely want to add that as well. So while step one is creating the profile, the next part, the part where you really start to take advantage of the platform, is to build your network. And if you watched my previous academic success workshop, you would have seen that one of my huge pieces of advice for kind of preparing for life after graduation is to start your networking now. So network, network, network. What does that mean? It means reaching out to people, building relationships, and just kind of getting to know people who are around you and who are in the profession or the industry that you're interested in. You can start building your network on LinkedIn by connecting with people who you already know, friends, family, classmates. That's a great place to start so that you really start to get an idea of how people are using LinkedIn, and that will influence how you then use LinkedIn. And being connected with other people will also open you up to their networks as well. So it kind of has this ripple effect where you connect with one person, all of a sudden that opens you up to their network, and so on and so on. So what you would then do after kind of starting out and establishing your own network is that you are going to have the opportunity, as I said, to look at profiles and people who are in organizations and positions that you're interested in. So if you're interested in the energy sector, for example, you could start looking at different organizations, going into the profile for the organization, see who works there. If you're interested in higher education or furthering your education after graduation, most universities have a LinkedIn profile where you can then go and see who has listed that organization, that institution, as a place where they studied, and you'll see their alumni and you can understand where they work and what kinds of things they're doing. So really the possibilities are endless, and sort of connecting with and finding people who you would have a chance to either connect with directly or to see sort of what path different people have taken. And once you've started building your network, you're going to want to engage. That's really the third key with LinkedIn. So you have engagement in the way that we understand it on other platforms. So you could post different things, you could share different posts that you see, leave comments, start conversations, engage with content that's already on LinkedIn. Or if you're the kind of person who really likes to create content, that's also a great place to put it. The thing that I would definitely caution against is putting things that are not perhaps professional in nature. So, you know, there's a thin line. It might be fine to sort of find other professionals who work in a specific industry who are interested in a certain sports team, for example, and that's some way to connect with people who are in your industry who have a commonly shared interest, but you're going to want to keep it kind of on a more professional level, and definitely keep things positive. But then when it comes to people who you don't know yet, who you want to know, you might send them a connection request. And when you do that, one of the really effective ways of getting a positive response from that person is to send a meaningful message. So sending a message, for example, or sending a connection request to someone who you don't know. Maybe you have a mutual friend or a mutual contact. You could start by sending a message and saying, "Hi, my name is, I'd like to connect with you. We have this person that we both know in common." Or if you have a question for that person, that's also a really great way to engage with them. So sending blind connection requests is sort of not the most effective way to build a network on LinkedIn. but finding a way in and really engaging and connecting in a meaningful manner with someone would help you help build that network with people who you might not know directly. So another crucial part of the profile is the right photo. Picking the right photo really says a lot, because as much as you're going to be building your network and looking at others, you're also going to have people who will be looking at your profile and who might want to connect with you. Now, I've already mentioned recruiters, but they may be hiring managers at organizations. They may be friends, they may be others who are looking for people like you. And so you want to make sure that you present a very professional and full profile. So this photo that you see right here in the banner behind it is kind of the very basic model that LinkedIn has. And you want to really avoid having a banner headline that kind of looks like this. So blank photo, blank cover photo, not much information at all. That's really not going to be the most effective way to present yourself. And so, it's incomplete, it's blank, or, having a profile that really lacks personality is not going to catch someone's eye, especially if that someone is, like I said, a recruiter, a hiring manager, or someone who, may otherwise engage with your account, your profile, and send you a connection request. This isn't going to be something that really catches their eye. So what you want to do instead is choose a professional headshot that shows your face clearly. And we'll look at an example after this next slide. But again, this isn't Facebook. LinkedIn is not the platform where you want to have a flower as your profile photo, which I know can be common sometimes here. But again, picking a very professional photo and that shows your face clearly, shows who you are, shows you happy. You don't want to have a photo where you're really frowning in it. And so what you can do is look for good examples and best practices, and then try to emulate them or try to copy certain parts of them. So what I'd like to do now is show you an example that I have of someone who really has a fantastic profile. And her name is Madeline Mann. She is a career and job search advisor, essentially. Just gonna pick up. One second. Here we are. All right, so Madeline Mann, first thing that you see is that her profile really catches your attention. She has bright colors, she's got a great photo. You can really see her face very clearly. She has her cover photo, catches your attention. She's even got it designed so that, you see this hit follow graphic right here that tells you to follow her. And then, so in addition to her name, you've got here a headline. So this headline shows you kind of very basic information about who she is. She's an award-winning career and job search advice, or she gives award-winning career and job search advice from Human Resources. She's a creator. She's a career coach and strategist, a speaker, and she's been featured in Forbes, Bloomberg, and the New York Times. You also see where she's located, Los Angeles, California. She has over 500 connections. Right here, you see that she has some connection to the University of Southern California. And this is really the kind of, introduction to a person that makes me want to scroll. And that should be your ultimate goal, is that when somebody sees this part of your profile, they're going to want to scroll down and really learn more about you. So if we go, we see some contact info here. Let's see, we've got her LinkedIn profile. We see that she has a website and she also has a Twitter account. So while LinkedIn is one type of social media platform. You have the opportunity here to link to your other social media profiles, especially if they are, one, public, that's important, and two, if they kind of go along with more of that professional style of content that you'd be sharing. So right here I see, and I'm logged into my own LinkedIn profile. So I see that we have a mutual connection. So this is the highlight section. Let's take a look at more. All right, so this one shows an event that she is going to be speaking at coming up soon, which is really interesting. So yeah, highlights are a great place to check out and see how you're connected with someone and what they have coming up. She has, the next part is her about. Now this is a pretty large about section. I think it's a lot more filled out than I think most people would have. But again, Madeline is a content creator, and she's also got her own business. And so this is, a place where she really kind of takes time to explain those different parts. So she's got a resume masterclass. She gives a little bit more information about herself. And then for those of you on the job search, this is really important. She has 3 options for you, and these are related to content that she creates. So she's got a free resume masterclass. She has free resources, which is going to be super, super helpful for a lot of fresh graduates and students who are going to be learning, what it is that they need to be doing in order to land their dream jobs. And then she has more helpful content. After that, she's got some featured content that she's developed herself. She has this, everybody has this activity section right now on their LinkedIn profiles, and that just shows how you engage with social media. So this is going to be, if you like a post, if you comment on a post, this is the kind of information that would show up on your profile. And this is really, really impressive. You see that she has 78,721 followers. And then we get into who Madeline is as a professional. So you see her experience. She's got the title of her position, the organization, how long she's been working there, and where. And then here she really goes into the explanation of what she did there, right? This is super important to help people understand who you are, what you've done, and what value you add to your position or to your organization or to your class, your major, your university, your volunteer places. This is really the space where you're going to be able to brag about yourself. And so you see that she has it really filled out here. And then she's done the same for her other positions. And then we have her education information. So University of Southern California. This is going to be super important for our students who have not graduated yet. This is really, you can have a very developed section on your education to really talk about the different things that you've done here at the university. And then her licenses and certifications, she has them linked here. She also has volunteer experience, which she's listed here. And this is really important because it shows that you have a life outside of work. And I think a lot of employers are really eager to see that, not only do you bring something to your position, but also to the organization as a whole, as a person, not only as somebody who's filling a position. Skills and endorsements are fantastic because they give you the opportunity to have your friends, your coworkers, your classmates, again, talk about things that you've done. So are you a great career coach? Do you have skills in human resources? Your friends who are also on LinkedIn can come and say, yes, I agree that this person has this skill. So ask your friends to do it for you, and in turn, definitely do it for your friends. And recommendations are another fantastic way to give, those hiring managers and recruiters who are looking at you, looking to see what kind of person you are. This section is really important because it shows that other people who have worked with you are willing to vouch for you or willing to give you recommendations publicly. Usually when you apply for a position or if you're applying for grad school or something like that, recommendations are going to usually be a required part of the process, and that tends to be very private. But this is a way to show publicly that you actually have people who are willing to give you recommendations on a public platform. This is another place to brag about yourself, the accomplishments. So any honors or awards that you received, again, I mentioned the annual AUIS awards. This is a place to definitely brag about that, organizations that you're a part of, any publications that you may have been a part of, and any languages that you speak, because that's always something that really catches people's eyes when it comes to language. So knowing that you are fluent in English is a plus on top of whether you're fluent in Arabic or Kurdish or Turkish or Farsi or any other languages. And then finally, one thing that I think we haven't really talked about yet is that there are interest groups on LinkedIn that you can follow, you can be a part of. Here you'll see, for example, information technology, fintech, and blockchain has 410,000 members. That's a great place to connect with people who have similar interests to you. Are you interested in Ubisoft? Are you interested in following Daniel Goleman or HR jobs? These are places where you can find other people who have similar interests and who you can connect with. And so next, I want to show you a tool that Madeline Mann has created, which is the LinkedIn profile checklist. This is going to be something that is very useful for you. She goes into who she is, you know, the fact that she's, you know, self-made millennial. She has this coaching and advice giving. She's got a career YouTube channel. And so definitely if you're interested in more of her content, check out her YouTube channel, her website, her TikTok, and her LinkedIn. And then here, she says, this is a checklist for revamping a LinkedIn profile. If you have a LinkedIn profile already that you're now seeing that there are changes that you could make, definitely go through this checklist. If you're somebody who is just starting out and you're creating your LinkedIn profile, you should definitely go through this as well. So you see that she goes through the headline and tips for that. Photo, again, she says, close up of your face, smile, not a selfie, and also not a photo where you're in the photo with other people, but you've cropped them out. This should really be a very professional photo of you where you are the subject because this is your LinkedIn profile. So definitely go through, check out all of the different parts of this. Go through her YouTube channel because, again, she really does provide very valuable information. And then in addition to Miss Madeline Mann, let's see, look for other resources, okay? Now, when I say look for other resources, I'm going to bring one up that might have some of you groaning and questioning, you know, what was I thinking? But I have to be honest with you, TikTok is a fantastic, a really fantastic resource when it comes to tutorials and advice on things related to your career. So I'm going to show you, if you have a TikTok account, even if you don't, you can still access this actually. Hashtag LinkedIn. It's got 119.5 million views. So that tells you one thing. People are definitely searching for this hashtag and they're watching these videos. And there's one that I want to show you. There's a gentleman named Rob who has a channel where he provides career advice. And what he does is he does LinkedIn profile reviews. So I'm going to apologize in advance. He speaks very quickly on this video because TikTok, as you know, has a 1-minute limit for your videos. So he tries to get this done in 60 seconds, and he provides basically a review of someone's LinkedIn profile. So this could also be very, very useful for you. We're going to take a look. So there you go. An example, I think an unexpected example of how you can find more resources about how to create the best LinkedIn profile. It's again unexpected, but not only on TikTok. I would stick to online resources because I don't think we have too many written resources right now about how to best use a LinkedIn profile, at least not available locally here. But whether it's on TikTok or on Facebook, just doing a Google search, or on Twitter or any other social media platform, definitely look out for these different resources to help you figure out several things. How to make the most of your LinkedIn profile, what things you should be adding to it, what things recruiters are looking for, and how just to be able to take the most advantage of this fantastic platform. And so with that, we've come to the end. I encourage anyone who has questions to throw them into the chat box of the YouTube Live right now. If you have any questions, or if you would like further clarification, or if you're looking for resources or this Madeline Mann LinkedIn profile or the checklist, you can reach out to Lawan Sirwan in the Student Services Department. He is Student Services Coordinator, of course. Or you can reach out directly to me, Delawit Mesfin, Communications Director here at AUIS. I've got our both of our email addresses up here. So again, if you're looking for those resources, you can definitely reach out to us, and we'll be sure to email those to you. And so if anybody has any questions, I'll take them right now. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to maybe throw something in there. Great, we've got a comment from Dean Barron, who says that he's definitely going to check out Madeline Mann's profile. That's fantastic because again, it's not only about looking for a job. It's not only about, looking for your next opportunity. It's really a way to present yourself in a professional setting. Certain people are not necessarily comfortable doing that on other platforms because they don't have the stated purpose of being a professional organization or a professional network like LinkedIn is. And so again, if you're looking for people who are innovators in your industry, people who are interested in furthering, their own careers, your career, learning about what's happening in your industry, it's a great place to achieve that. Okay, so we have a question about what are the biggest mistakes that students make on LinkedIn. Okay, I've seen several of these. I would definitely say one huge mistake is not having a filled out profile with all the information that you could. LinkedIn is not the place to be lazy, I'll say that. You definitely want to make sure that your profile is full, has relevant information, and again, make somebody want to scroll below that introductory part that has your name and a headline and your photo. Making sure that you really show what value you bring to a professional setting is super important. Making sure that you have your information spelled out clearly in whatever language you want to. I would say that as well. If English is not your strong suit, do it in the language that you are comfortable working in. I mean, I know that sets up certain limitations, but it's better to show your best face in a language that you're comfortable in. And then I would say the last thing is not including a profile photo at all. There have been several people who have sent, for example, connection requests, and I just looked at it and thought, like, I don't really know who this person is. I don't know why I should connect with them because I can't see their face, their name isn't clear. And then the last thing I would say is not actually, I'll give a fourth super important one, which is not sending that meaningful message. Super important. If I don't know you, I might be hesitant to connect with you because I'm not sure who you are or why you're sending me a connection request. And so just letting me know who you are, why it is that you're connecting, what it is that you're interested in. Even if it's just a simple, hi, I saw your profile and I was really interested in it and I wanted to connect. Something as simple as that gives a face, shows a person behind the profile, and that can be really helpful. Let's see what other connections or what other questions we have. Let's see. Things that you can do to boost your LinkedIn profile. So many, really. Again, having, as Madeline did, having a cover photo that is colorful and catches someone's attention and is done in a nice way is really fantastic. If you yourself are not design savvy, there's a website, canva.com, so canva.com, that has tons and tons of templates that you can use. And you can scroll through them and see something that really speaks to you, something that you connect with, you think is more of your personality, that you can then use in order to put in that spot. And it's something that, you know, would catch someone's attention if it caught your attention. So definitely, you know, adding some of these pieces of personality is super important. Another thing that you can do to boost your LinkedIn presence is to build your network. So someone who has 4 or 5 connections on LinkedIn doesn't really have a strong profile. But someone, as you saw, like Madeline, who has over 500, shows that people want to connect with her and she's actively connecting with people. So build your profile, build your network, and also engage. So once you start building your profile, building your connections, go through and engage. When somebody has a post that you think, oh, that's really interesting, it could be as simple as liking it. It could be, you know, a comment that you leave. You might agree with it, you might disagree with it. Having a conversation, meaningful conversation, again, whether it's on messages or on posts, engaging with different content, can help boost your profile as an individual. We have a question, okay, from Hassan. Should one include past experiences and certificates that aren't necessarily relevant to their profession? Yeah, sure. I mean, absolutely, because again, you want to provide a full spectrum of who you are. And I'll tell you one thing. Let's say you add your Google certification to your profile. You might have a friend who was interested but unsure and didn't realize that they knew somebody who had it. And so that person might see on your page that you've gone through this process, and that might be an opportunity for you to help someone else. And the same thing goes for you. I remember at one point I saw somebody who had gone to a university that I was looking at. And so I just reached out to them and said, hi, I saw that, you know, you had this experience, or you had, you know, this thing listed on your profile. And I was wondering if you might be willing to share kind of like a few tips or, you know, what your experience was like. And the person was actually really flattered and said, yeah, you know, this was a great experience. And they really went through and took time to explain why it is that they recommended it. And you might find somebody who says, actually, I went through this process. It wasn't that great. I really wish I had not done it. And so that could help you, or you could have the chance to help somebody as well. And so one other thing I want to mention is that so far we've talked about free accounts on LinkedIn, when actually they also have a paid version, LinkedIn Premium. With that, there is a paid subscription. I've seen some people say, you know, like there may be specials or promotions where you might have a reduced fee, something for students and things like that. They do have other features on the premium that you don't have on a free account. One of them is LinkedIn Premium's LinkedIn Learning. So if you're familiar with lynda.com, LinkedIn Premium acquired lynda.com. So they have courses on, I mean, really any subject matter that you could imagine. And they have short courses, long form courses, courses where you can get certifications and things like that. So with that, I thank everyone for tuning in today. I think this is the Academic Success Workshop that we've had the highest number of viewers at any one point while it was live. So I greatly appreciate everyone for tuning in. Again, any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions that you have regarding this subject, why you need to have a LinkedIn account, or the Academic Success Workshops in general, please reach out to either me or directly to Mr. Alawan Sirwan. And I wish you guys a great day. This webinar will be available on our academic success workshop playlist here on YouTube. And if you have not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we have, fantastic content that we provide on a weekly basis. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again.